Okay, class, let's do part 2 of algebra final review. First is question 9. Question 9, okay? Question 9, given the line 5x subtract 4y equals to 24, which statement is true? And if we observe these options we have, they are basically asking you about the slope. So we need to decide about the slope. Now, if you want to decide the slope, you must be make sure that that formula is written in this form. Is written in this form. That is this just y. There cannot be anything in front of y. So let's try to first let's move y and x, separate them. Let's move the y to the right side. Negative 4y, if we move it to the right side, it will flip, right? So after moving, we will have 5x equals, this will become a positive 4y, 24 plus 4y. Now, we want to move this to the other side because numbers and x on one side, y on the other side. So when you move this, this will become a negative 24. 5x subtract 24 equals 4y. And lastly, we have to make sure that this y is just a 1y. There should be anything in front of y. And how do we do that? We do divide. So y multiplied by 4, then we divide by 4. And we divide everything on the other side. Okay? After divide, y multiplied by 4 divide by 4, so this will cancel, then we will have y this side equals 5x divided by 5x subtract 24 divide by 4, and this we can just divide each of them. So y equals 5x divided by 4, or 5 divided by 4 times x. Subtract 24 divided by 4, and that's gonna be a 6. So we will have y equals 5 over 4x subtract 6. Now they are fully in this form. Y equals 5 over 4x subtract 6. Right? Now we can tell that the slope is 5 over 4. 5 over 4. And the y-intercept, the b, is negative 6. Well, they don't ask for the b. So 5 over 4, that means the slope is 5 over 4, and the answer will be D. The answer will be D. Okay, let's go on to question 10. Which of the equations below has a slope of negative 2 over 5? So again, this is a test of how to find out the slope in different scenario. Let's look at the first. First, y plus 5, there's nothing else, so we don't need that parenthesis, equals negative 0.4x plus 4. Now we have to unpack this, the right side. When you unpack, you just multiply the outside to everything inside. Let's write it down. Y plus 5 equals this negative 0.4x plus negative 0.4 times 4. If you use a calculator, it's gonna be negative 1.6. Negative 1.6. And further, we want to if we want to write it in the mx plus b form, we want to move the 5 to this side. So we move this 5 to this side. We move it, this will become a negative 5. So y equals negative 0.4x. Subtract 1.6 and subtract another 5. Or y equals negative 0.4x. Subtract 6.6. Okay, and actually you can already tell the slope in this step. The slope is the number in front of x, and that is negative 0.4. Negative 0.4. Remember, you can only have this y on the other side, then you can tell that's the slope. Like here, if they are it's not just one y, it's a negative 4y, and they are not on a different side, so you cannot say the slope is 5. You have to make sure you have this, you have them in this form, so before you can decide the slope. And the slope is negative 0.4. Negative 0.4, that's actually negative 2/5. So for 1, yes, the slope is negative 2/5. So number 1, yes. Number 2, we will do it similarly. 5x subtract 2y equals 14. Then I move the 2y to the other side. I will have 5x equals 14 plus 2y. Then I move the 14 to the other side. It will become a negative 14. 5x subtract 14 equals 2y. And lastly, I need to get just one y, so I divide by 2. Divide by 2. And this cancel, then you will have y equals 5x divided by 2. That's 5/2x. And subtract 14 divided by 2. That's going to be subtract 7. And then you can tell the slope. Now you can tell the slope is 5/2 or 2.5. And that's different. That's different from negative 2/5. So this one, number 2, it's a no. Number 2 is a no. Okay. First, yes. Second is a no. Now number third. Number third, you can already read that this is a slope. So yes. And lastly, let's do the last one. 5x plus 2y equals negative 20. Now I won't keep this y here, but I move this 5x to the other side. When I move this one, it will become a negative 5x. So we will have 2y equals negative 20, subtract 5x. And again, I want to divide by 2. And divide by 2. So this will cancel, and you will have y equals negative 20 divided by 2, that's negative 10. And negative 5 divided by 2, negative 5 divided by 2x. Now what is the slope? Slope is the number in front of x, negative 5/2. But it's not negative 2/5. They are different. This is negative 0.4. And this is negative 2.5. So they are different. Therefore, number 4 is not. Number 4 is not. So 1 and 3. 1 and 3. And the answer will be D. The answer will be D. Right. Let's go to question 11. A graph of the linear inequality in two variables is shown below. What linear inequality can be used to represent this graph? Now, we know if we want to decide the inequality, you first decide about the edge. You first decide about the edge, okay? You have to decide about the edge. And to do the edge, we just simply do the stuff we do with a line, with a straight line. Based on 2 points, you can write the straight line. However, this question, the graph is too obscure. It's hard for us to read. So we'll just, just suppose the position. We'll just do it. Let's suppose this is 0, 2. Let's say this point here is 0.5. Okay, 0.5, 0, 0. All right, we cannot read clearly what is the position. So suppose this is 0.5. And this one, 0, 2, let's suppose this is 2.5, negative. So 0 and negative 2.5. Right? Let's do the slope. x1, y1, x2, y2. Do the slope, y2 subtract y1, x2 subtract x1, right? So negative 2.5 subtract y1 is 0 over x2 is 0 subtract x1 is 0.5. Therefore this is negative 2.5. This is a negative 0.5. So the slope is a 5. The slope is a 5. And if we know the slope, and actually we know the intercept. The intercept is slope is 5. Intercept is negative 2.5. It's here. This is negative 2.5. B is negative 2.5. And then if we write out the formula, it's y equals 5x, mx, m is 5, 5x plus b, negative 2.5. Okay, that will be the formula for this edge. Okay, for this edge. This edge y equals 5x subtract 2.5. Again, we cannot read exactly where are the 2 points, so this is based on just sort of estimation. If we can actually read the exact position of them, probably this will change. Okay, this is just estimation. And hold on. Okay. All right. So this edge is 5x subtract 2.5. Yeah. Thank you. And how do we know about the inequality? Well, we know that, let's check for this point. And the shaded area, all the values is greater, the y values is greater than this point on the line. All right, this point on the line. And for all the different area points, the shaded area is greater than that value. And down below, you can tell that the shaded area is always above this line. The shaded area is above this line. So that means the shaded area is greater than, the y is greater than this line. Greater than or equal to. But could it be equal to? Well, this is a dotted line. That means the y is just above it, but never be on the same position as this line. So the inequality will be y is just above and never be on the same line. So it cannot be equal to, just above this line. Okay, that means the meaning of this is the area above this line. Okay, the area above the edge or this line. That's a meaning. Okay, so the inequality will be this. All right, let's go to question 12. The total number of tickets sold at the Friday night football game was 1,650. Each adult ticket cost $3.50 and each student ticket cost $2. The total revenue for the ticket sales was 4,650. Which system of equations could not, okay, this is the tricky part, could not be used to determine the number of adult tickets A and student tickets S sold at the game. So this is to set up the systems of equations, and they use A for adult tickets and they use S for student tickets. And we are looking for the relationship. First, when you read the total, that tells you something add up. The total number of tickets is 1,650. That's student tickets plus adult tickets. Add up, total is 1,650. That will be one equation. And second, that's going to be the total revenue. So when you read total, they tell you something. The total revenue, and that will be revenue from student and the revenue from adult. For adult, each ticket is $3.50. Then the revenue will be $3.50 times the number of adult tickets times A. And the student revenue, each ticket cost $2. And for the student tickets, it's going to be $2 times the number of student tickets. That's a student revenue. And they add up. The total is 4,650. Right? So that will be the system of equation for us. But the question is asking for which option could not be used. So they are trying to make this a little harder. But let's check. First, A plus S, this is good. 3.5A plus 2S. So yes, A is okay. A plus S is 1650, right? 2A plus 3.5x, that doesn't make sense. Number of tickets, adult tickets times the price of student, that doesn't make sense, right? The student price cannot time the adult tickets, and again the adult price cannot be multiplied to the student tickets, so this doesn't make sense. Therefore, the second equation doesn't make sense. So we can say B is wrong. B is wrong, or B cannot be used. But let's check the other options. The other two options. 1650 subtract S equals A. Well, this is just a maneuver. If you just move the S to the other side and flip the sign, this will become a plus. So 1650 equals A plus S. That's true. And 3.5A plus 2S is 4650. So correct. And lastly, and this one similarly, negative S, if we just move to the other side, this will become a positive S. So S plus A is 1650, and 3.5A plus 2S is 4650. So D is also correct. And the one that cannot be used will be B, because this one is wrong. This one is wrong. Let's go ahead to question 13. Question 13. The table below represents a system of two linear equations in two variables. Which system of equations can be used to best represent the table of values? All right, so this is actually two systems or two tables, but they just put it together. Well, we can separate them into two tables. One is the one in red, the other one, it's going to be the x and the y2. X is -4, 8, -1 to -1, 5 to negative 19, and 8 to negative 28. Okay, so actually these are two tables, and they want us to find out the systems of equations. If you observe the options, they are not in standard form. They are not in standard y equals to mx plus b form. They're not in standard form. However, for us to decide the option, we need to do the m for this red one and b for this red one, the m for the blue one and b for the blue one, put them into the standard form, and then also have to make some extra maneuvers to get to the option. So yes, you can do it. Just follow the steps. Find the slope, find the b, and put them into the standard form, and then just change and check with everything. Yes, you can do it. However, we don't have so much time to spend, so I'd like to just also show you some strategy in answering this. Let's observe these. You can tell basically what they distinguish them each other will be the slope and b. So maybe we can just tell their different slope and just match with the red and blue one. And to do the slope, it's easier to do the blue one. It's easier to do the blue one because there's just one y, right? There's just one y. So let's do it. 3x plus y is negative 4. If we move the 3x to the other side, it's gonna become a negative 3x. So y equals negative 3x. This become a negative 3x, and subtract 4. That means the slope m is negative 3. All right. For option A, it's saying the blue m is negative 3. Negative 3. And then let's do this one. 3x subtract y equals negative 4. Now this time I'm going to move the y to the other side. That's because we want to have y equals something, right? We don't want a negative y. So I move this to the other side. It will become positive y, right? So 3x equals negative 4 plus y. Now again, I move this negative 4 to this side. This will become a positive 4. So 3x plus 4 equals y. And you can tell the m is 3. So option B, they are saying the slope is the blue slope is positive 3. Let me write it down. The blue slope is positive 3. C, let's check C. C says x plus 3y equals negative 4. So I want to move this x to the other side. It becomes a negative x. 3y equals negative x, subtract 4. Now each side will divide by 3. So when you divide by 3, this will be just 1y. And this will be negative x divided by 3. It's going to be negative 1/3 x. And negative 4 divided by 3. And you can tell the slope is negative 1/3. The slope is negative 1/3. So C is saying the slope is negative 1/3. M is negative 1/3. And lastly, we have D. Negative x plus 3y equals negative 4. And we move this negative x to the other side. this will become a positive x. 3y equals positive x, subtract 4. And divide by 3 on each side. Divide by 3, then we have y equals 3 divided by 3, just 1y equals x divided by 3, so 1/3 x, and negative 4 divided by 3. Okay, we do the divide by 3 because we need just 1y. And the m is 1/3, the number in front of x, that's 1/3. So D is saying the blue slope is 1/3. The blue slope is 1/3. Now you can tell that the A, B, C, D, they are claiming different slope for the blue table. That means if we can find out the correct slope for this table, then we can find out the correct answer. Now let's do it. Let's do it. Again, we only need two sets of x and y, so we only need, first x, first y, second x, second y. So we are going to do the formula -1 second y subtract first y over second x subtract -4. Okay, be careful with that. -1 subtract -4. -1 subtract 8. So on the top, this is going to be -9. On the bottom, this is -1 plus 4, or just +3. So it's going to be -9 divided by +3. And the slope is -3. -3. We can verify that from 5 to 8, x increased by 3, and y decreased by 9. Yes, that's right. That's right. So based on our using our formula, we find that the blue slope is -3. The blue slope is -3. And the one matching this will be A, because the others, they are all giving the wrong slope for the blue one, right? So we say A will be the answer. A will be the answer. Again, this question can take you a lot of time if we just do the M and B, the red M, the red B, then put them into standard formula and then move around to get to the option. It can take you a ton of time. So here we just use some strategy to help us quickly get to the answer we need. Okay, question 14. Oh yes, we will skip question 14 because there's something wrong with that, and in addition, we cannot really read what's on the graph, so we'll just skip it. 15. Yes. A system of linear equations is shown below, and these two systems. Graph this system of linear equations to determine a reasonable estimate of the solution. Okay, so basically what you can do, you can graph them on the TI calculator, right? You can graph on TI Inspire. Okay, you can graph it on the calculator and trace to the intersection that will give you the solution. And however, here I want to just show you, if you must graph on the piece of paper, what do you do? So basically, you will pick 2 points to draw line A. Normally you can do when x is 0. Okay, when x is 0, this will be 2 over 5 multiplied 0. This is 0, and y will be -2. Then we have 1 point, -2, 0, -2. And the other point, you can pick any point. Here I will pick x equals 5, because if x is 5, 2 over 5 times 5, they will cancel, so this will be a 2. All right, 2 over 5 times 5 will be 2. 2 subtract 2 will be 0. So y will be 0. Then we'll have another point at 5 and 0. And connecting them. If you're working on a piece of paper, you can use a ruler to help you to connect the 2 points and make sure you have a straight line. Right? So we can graph the red one. And let's do the blue one. Again, we can do x is 0. When x is 0, negative x is also 0 plus 5, that's 5. And the other one, we can also do x is 5. When x is 5, negative x, negative 5, plus 5 is 0. So when x is 5, y is 0. Okay, now I think things can get pretty easy. 0, 5, 0 and 5. So we have one line here. And 5 and 0, you can tell it's the same point as we had. And that kind of already tells us what is the solution. So these two lines intersect at the same point. And you know that's the same point, 5 and 0. So they intersect at 5 and 0. And that will be D. All right? So you can graph like this, or you can graph on the TI calculator, or you can even just solve them. The common solution will, it means that the both y will be equal. Then okay, if you can solve this one, you will also find out x will be 5. X will be 5. We can actually do it if we want. So this x, move it to the other side. This will be just positive 1x. This is 0.4. 0.4x plus x. Subtract 2 equals 5. And next, let's move the negative 2 to the other side. This is going to be a positive 2. So this is 1.4x equals 7. And divide by 1.4 on both sides. And x is 5. When x is 5, and you can plug into the original formula, you can find out y is 0. And so the solution will be 5 and 0. Okay, question 16. Question 16, something wrong with the question itself, so we are going to skip it. It's wrong because if you read the graph, it says Shelly spent $100 on necklaces, making supplies, and an additional amount for ongoing supply cost. This function showing her spending and her profit. So one is the spending, one is the profit, and we can safely assume that maybe this is a spending. Maybe this will be the profit. Because when you start a business, normally in the very beginning you spend more than you can earn, and gradually after some time your profit will increase and exceed the spending. Then you will be profitable. Well, the question is approximately how many necklaces will Shelly have to make before she starts making money? And you can tell this profit line actually overtake the spending line starting from this point. That means after this point, she will be making more profit than spending, or she starts making money. And this point, if we read the graph, that's between 10 and 15. So it's around 13 something. We can say after making 13 necklaces, Shelly will likely make more profit than spending. that's actually the answer. However, the options didn't give us that that answer. So there's something wrong either with the option or with the graph. But so we don't do this, but you will know that after this point 13, she will start making more profit than spending, or she starts making money. Right? 16. Let's do 17. Cell phone company A has a monthly fee of $30 plus 5 cents per text. $30 plus 5 cents per text. Cell phone company B charged 10 cents per text and no monthly fee. How many texts would you have to send in 1 month in order for the two companies to cost the same? So for company A, your cost will be $30 plus 5 cents. That's $0.05. You have to make sure you use the same unit. $30 and $0.05 for each text. And if you send, let's say, X text, that will be 0.05 times the number of the text you use. So that will be the cost for company A. And for company B, the cost will be 10 cents. That's $0.1. $0.1 times the number of text. And there's no monthly fee. So it's just 0.1 times X. 0.1 times X. And make sure you're using the same unit. Okay? There's a tricky part about the $30. And the cents. You have to make sure you're using the same, either you're using dollar or you're just using cents. And the question is, for the two companies to cost the same, that means the red is equal to the blue. So 30 plus 0.05x equals 0.1x. And we need to solve this. And to solve this, move this to the other side. This will become a negative. So 30 equals 0.1x. Negative subtract 0.05x, or that's 0.1 subtract 0.05x. That's gonna be 0.05x. All right. After this, we want to know what is x. We don't need this multiplied by 0.05. So you just divide by 0.05. And you have to do the same thing on the other side. We do this because we want to cancel these. Then we have x equals to 30 divided by 0.05. And that will be 600. So x is 600. Or after sending 600 text, the two companies will cost the same. And we can actually verify that. X is 600. So if you send 600 with company B, each cost 0.1, then the cost will be $60. And with company A, it's going to be 30 plus 600 times 0.05. That's going to be another 30. You can verify using the calculator. Okay, let's just verify. 600 multiply 0.05, that's 30. So it's gonna be 30 plus 30, or 60. And you can tell that company A and company B, they will be the same cost at x equals to 600. So the answer will be 600 texts. Okay, question 18. The table represents points on the graph of a linear function. What is a linear equation in two variables that represent the same relationship? Okay, this is somewhat easier because we just need to write out one equation. Again, we can use y equals mx plus b, or we can use y equals the point slope formula. Y subtract y1 equals m subtract x subtract x1. Okay, let's first do the slope. The slope, we will do x1 x2 y1 y2. So y2 subtract y1 19 subtract 5 divide by x2 3 subtract 1. That's gonna be 14 divided by 2. That's a 7. So m is 7. M is 7. That means for each, when x goes up by 2, y goes up by 2 times 7. That's 14. So goes up by 14. Now, can we? So we can do two methods. From here, if you use the point slope formula, you can just go ahead. You know, you only need x1 and y1, so you can just go ahead. Y subtract y1 5, y subtract 5 equals to m 7 times x subtract x1, which is 1. Okay, this will give you the formula. This will give you the formula. And if you want to use the mx plus b formula, you will need to find out the b. You will need to find out the b. For the b, that's when x is 0. What is the y? We know that when x goes from 0 to 1, the y will increase by the slope, which is a 7. After increasing by 7, the y will be 5. So here is 5 subtract 7. That's a negative 2. Negative 2 plus 7 is 5. So the b will be negative 2. So y will be equal to 7x subtract 2. 7x subtract 2. And that will be the answer to question 18. If you do the point slope formula, and they are actually the same thing. They're actually the same thing. After you unpack and you separate and you divide all those maneuvers, they are actually the same thing. All right. Question 19. Question 19. What is the equation of the line that is parallel to 7x subtract 2y equals 9 and passes through the point 2, negative 2, and 6? All right. So you gotta know that parallel means if we have a line and another line is parallel, that means they have the same m. If you know the m for this one, if you know m1, then you know m2 because they are the same. They are the same. That's the meaning of parallel. So if we can find out this slope, then we know the other line's slope. Let's write it into the standard form. Right? Is that a 9? Yes, it's a 9. So I will move the negative 2y to the other side because we want a positive y. Positive 2y. To the other side, you will have 7x equals 9. This will become a positive 2y. And I move this 9 to the other side. It will become a negative 9. So 7x subtract 9 equals 2y. Now I'm going to divide by 2. I'm going to divide by 2 and divide by 2. After divided by 2, this will be just 1y. So 1y equals 7x divided by 2, or 7 over 2x. Then subtract 9 divided by 2. And what is a slope? This number in front of x, that's a slope. And 7 divided by 2. 7 divided by 2, or 3.5. So m, this line, the m is 3.5. Now we know that the other line is parallel. So the other line, the M, is also 3.5. Okay? And that line also passes through the point -2 and 6. We know the slope, we know 1 point. What do we use? We will use the point slope formula. Okay? We know 1 point. We also know the slope. So we can use a point slope formula. And that formula says y, okay, I'll just erase this. Y subtract y1. What's the y1? Y1 is the y in this point. x1, y1. So y1 is 6 equals m 3.5 times x. Subtract x1. x1 is -2. Subtract -2. Okay, we actually already got the formula, but let's just put them into a better form. First, let's unpack. No, let's first deal with the 2 bars. As we said, the 2 bars, if you have negative, subtract negative, the 2 bars, they will, we put them across, they will make a plus. So y subtract 6 equals 3.5x inside the parentheses. Don't forget the parentheses yet. Plus 2. Okay. Second step, we want to unpack. By unpack, you just multiply. You just multiply the term outside to each number inside, each term inside. So you will have this side is the same, y subtract 6 equals 3.5x, and 3.5 times 2 plus 7. All right, and the last step, we can move this -6 to the other side. This will become a +6. So y equals 3.5x plus 7 +6 plus 6, and that's actually 13. Y equals 3.5x plus 13. Okay, that will be the equation for the new line. Okay, guess we are done, right? We are done. Yes. Okay, so that's it. That's the solutions for part 2 of algebra final review. Okay, hope you get the solutions. All right, we'll see you again. Bye bye.